I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it Grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is, was Jake Paul on PEDs when he knocked out Tyron Woodley last night? If you check a few weeks ago, we did a segment on how John Fury, Tommy Fury's father, was expressing how he had concerns because Jake Paul did not want to sign up for VADA testing. And now what we're learning is that there wasn't VADA testing. Now, this is from Fight Sports, this article, and it says VADA no longer part of Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley 2. The Voluntary Anti-Doping Association, VADA, will not test either Jake Paul or Tyron Woodley for drugs before or after their rematch. That has been scheduled for December 18th, Showtime pay-per-view event at Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. The news was confirmed by Dr. Margaret Goodman, the International Boxing Hall of Fame elected physician and founder and co-person of VADA. Woodley has stepped in the bout in place of Tommy Fury, 7-0 with 4 knockouts, the younger brother of WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Tommy Fury withdrew after getting injured during the training camp. He's reportedly suffering from a bacterial chest infection and a broken rib. When Tommy vs. Paul was on till last week, VADA was still part of the plans and had the authority to conduct random testing and post-fight tests. However, this is no longer on the table with the former WBC welterweight champion in the picture. Woodley lost his first boxing fight to Jake via decision. Tommy's father, John Fury, has always been dubious of Paul's take on testing procedures. During a pre-fight press conference, he had claimed that Paul had outright refused to have himself tested before the fight. He refused point blank, John said. We're doing it. We've always done it. You can test a Fury every day and 10 times on Sundays. Tommy has nothing to hide. Can I say the same about Jake Paul? I don't know. So there you have it. Tommy Fury got injured, said he had a bacterial infection and broken ribs. But this was after we did the video reporting that John Fury didn't like the fact that Jake Paul didn't want to submit to VADA testing. So now we're hearing that VADA wasn't a part of this fight. So I'm turning it over to Dr. G. Was Jake Paul on PEDs when he knocked out Tyron Woodley?
Well, let me get him my Dr. GMD bag. You know what I'm saying? Listen. Of course, he was on the juice, bro. To be honest with you, the reason why I think VADA wasn't included in this, because what I think is usually, they don't start testing until you sign. I think when Tommy Fury, remember, his dad was threatening to back out a couple weeks ago. So then now, Jake's team's probably like, who can we get to replace Tommy Fury? And Tyron already said, I want that rematch, right? But I'm pretty sure Tyron Woodley is also on the juice. So you're looking at two guys that you need like a couple of weeks to take the stuff out your system. They didn't have a couple of weeks, so they probably made a decision like, hey man, listen, it look like for this fight to happen, ain't no VADA testing, and low key, I'm not mad at that because again, if both parties agree to this, it is what it is. What Tommy Fury did, I respect. Well, I don't respect why he backed out because your father already threatened to pull out of the fight. And then next thing you know, a week later, you come up with some bacterial infection and what was the other thing?
A broken rib.
Oh, broken rib. How convenient. But hey, I'm used to
back, baby. Sorry, go ahead.
But I'm used to this type of stuff in boxing, But yeah, am I surprised or do I think? Of course, Jake Paul was on it, man. Usually you don't sign on it until everything's out your system. Jake Paul at that time probably needed more time. The Furies were like, nah, bro, sign it right now so we can start VADA testing. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that, And then they said, all right, cool, deuces. Tyron was like, yo, I'm in here, let's go. Paul probably told Tyron, like, yo, man, I'm still on something, man. What's up? He said, I don't care.
You think he didn't have to verbalize like that, G? He's just like, yo, no VADA testing.
Say less, you know what I mean? With my 40-something-year-old self, I'm probably on testosterone boosters. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm not even
like him too.
I'm not surprised about none of this stuff, man. Like, man, happens in boxing, man. It's just unfortunate that, you know, I really did want to see the Tommy Fury fight, and I think that would have satisfied you know, Trill's appetite to see a real fight with Jake Paul. But nonetheless, it didn't happen. But we still got to see a circus nonetheless.
Yo, I'm just looking at some of these memes that Yellow Claw has made of Tyron Woodley. All right, Trill Dollar Bill.
I don't know, man.
Your Trill sounds so defeated.
I am. I am. I know.
You just gotta embrace the circus, bro.
Yeah, I know. I do. I hope not, but G, you probably right. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I hope not, just for the integrity of this sport I love. But you spot on, G. You know this guy. He was never gonna do that testing. He's never ever. All advantages to Jake Paul. Shout out to him. He's doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully one day, you know, whatever. I don't got nothing to say. No comment.
All right. Well, Krill has spoken, and we're gonna throw it over to Ned the TVE.
With all those facts being stated about how he basically delayed his time to get VADA tested, or he you know wasn't cooperating with the Furies to get VADA testing, and soon as Tyron Woodley, soon as Tommy Fury backs out, he sets up. He has an immediate opponent in Tyron Woodley, and there's no VADA testing. It's sketchy. It makes me think, what's in his system? Is it PEDs?
What he got in him?
Yeah, yo.
What he got in him?
Is it the sugar booger? Is he on the weed? Is he on something? What is Jake Paul hiding from the public? You know, and we'll never know until he fights a real opponent, because as he keeps signing these backdoor deals with or these behind the scene deals, or these fake knockout deals with his opponents, you know, we'll never know if Jake Paul is as serious as he wants us to think he is. Because to me, he's acting, he's playing boxing, he's not really boxing.
Fake knockout deals.
We don't know that. We don't know about that. I don't know. Last night, all I say.
Last night that was a real knockout. Now watch your mouth. He punched like a gallon of water out that dude's face, son.
Hey man, listen.
That was a real punch.
It was a real. He could knock out Tyron Woodley, and Tyron Woodley couldn't knock out Jake Paul. I'm just saying. I'm speculating. There's some things behind deals.
This is a Netta G.
I'm speculating. Because in the first fight, when Tyron,
this is inedible. What is this? I don't.
But Tyron could have finished this man. He picked him up and hugged him until he could get back on his feet and played scared the rest of the game. And in this fight, he played possum until he got knocked out. And I'm just not a fan anymore. I can't stand Jake or Logan, because you know they both run some WWB, man, and it's. But was he on PEDs? He got something in him, yo. Get the boy tested, yo. He has something.
Allegedly, let's just say allegedly. You know.
Allegedly, he has something in him. You know, he's hiding something, man. VADA, get on him.
Well, for me, I remember when we did the segment where we discussed that John Fury had concerns because Jake Paul wouldn't agree to VADA testing, and we were talking about like, yo, if you take that fight, we don't want to hear it, because if you know this going in, then you know this going in. And then I just remember midweek after we recorded that segment, hearing that Tommy Fury has been replaced with Tyron Woodley. And then there's this bacterial infection and the broken rib. Now, you and I both know, hypothetically, if this is true, why not just postpone the fight, right? Why not just say, okay, we need more time, we're going to postpone this fight? Why is it, all right, well, we're just going to replace him with Tyron Woodley? So to me, that just tells me there's more to this story. And I'm waiting to see how long it takes, Tommy Fury to get back into the ring, since he had this broken rib and whatever. So if he starts fighting, if he takes another fight like soon, and it's sooner than someone with a broken rib would take a fight, then that makes this whole thing very skeptical, right? But what I can say is Jake Paul took the scales and looked the best physically that he has ever looked. And even Logan pointed it out and said, oh, Jake has a six-pack for this fight. We know he's a tubby kid. I've never seen him. He had a six-pack for this fight. He had a six-pack from the snack. You know what I'm saying? But he had a six-pack. And so you look at that, you look at the knockout, and again, this is him delivering a one-punch knockout against a fighter who he went the distance with in the fight immediately before this one. You know, there are a number of things that could play into it. You could say, well, Tyron Woodley took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. You know, I don't know if that's going to help his chin, though. Even if he had, you know, a full camp, if that same shot landed on him, I don't think it would have done much to help him. I don't think he would have, I'm still here, I'm still good. That shot probably takes him out, especially if he falls for that okie doke. Maybe the only thing a full camp would have done would have made him a better boxer, but all reports say that he was in there training anyway for the opportunity. So it's not like he wasn't preparing to try to get the fight with Jake Paul. So I don't know, but I would say this. It's highly likely, based on the reports that I'm reading, that he was. But I'm not saying with absolute certainty because I don't know. I'm not a part of his camp. I don't want to cast that and throw that out in the atmosphere. But if you ask me, it's very sketchy that he didn't want to do VADA testing. Tommy Fury pulls out. He comes in the scale the first time you see him with a six-pack, and then he delivers this knockout of Tyron Woodley, a guy he couldn't knock out before. So that's my take on it.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. You know you're watching. We the Boxing Bro.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.